Welcome, Tailgate Legends. We are in the semifinals. Now, I know I have not put out a video in a long time. It's been a month and a half, maybe two, probably a month and a half, maybe 2 months. No, probably a month and a half. 6 weeks? Yeah, that sounds about right. I have not put one out in a long time. It's just, dude, it's busy and, is what it is, but I'm here now. That's all that matters. We have had a wild ride the last month and a half, maybe 2 months. Multiple trades going down. Roofer traded for Jonathan Taylor a while back. Landon traded for Zay Flowers a while back. I traded for CeeDee Lamb. Just a really strong push for this championship. I fucking love to see it. Man, just so much action, super competitive. It's just, to me, it's just everything that you could want in a league. The only thing that's missing is a commissioner that would put out a video more than once every 2 months. So, fuck me, right? So I know I always say like, man, I want to put out more videos, and for a little bit there, I did them. I think I did one like 3 weeks in a row. So I was cooking there for a little bit, but. Kind of fell off a little bit, but here we are. So today I'm not going to do like the 3 segments. I think today I'm just going to go through last week's matchups, going to go through this week's matchups, and yeah, just kind of take it from there. So last week, what a fucking week. So, well, I guess to start things off, 2 weeks ago, I'm playing Yacht for the division championship and a bye week 2 weeks ago, and I'm like, I don't know. I honestly, I was feeling pretty confident. Unfortunately, my team laid a fucking dud. I think I put up, what was it, 2 weeks ago? I put up 106 points, some shit like that. It was so bad. Yeah, and I think Yacht put up like 115. I don't know. It was close, but it was close enough that if I would have started like any of my I have 3 defenses. If I would have started either of my other 2 defenses, I would have won. If I would have started my other quarterback, I would have won. Just so many ways I could have won. Didn't happen though. So then I ended up playing Landon last week, which again, like, I just didn't want to do that. Like, Landon's team is good. Like, say what you want. By the way, congratulations, Landon. First year making the playoffs. I'm sorry that you had a first round exit, but you had a couple of weekly high scores this year. You had some low weeks, but you had some really high weeks too, which again is why I did not want to play you last week. Like, I think you were the high score the week before, the last week of the regular season, you had high score. And then I had to go turn around and play against your fucking team last week. So I was not excited about that. Like, you just can't be excited playing Josh Allen, Derrick Henry, Judkins, Bucky Irving, Christian Watson, Zay Flowers. Like, dude, your team is good. I know you have a few players falling off after this year, but dude, just fucking turn around and do it again. Like, I've told you a few times in these videos, man, you have to find good players and get them on your team. Like, obviously, the cheaper they are, the better, but at the end of the day, you just want good players on your team scoring points. That's all you're looking for. So last week we had, in the championship bracket, we had me against Landon. I did end up winning. I won 149 to 114. He did not have his best week. I had a pretty good week, led by Bijan with 30, Jason Myers with fucking 24. But all around, just a solid week for most guys. Dak had a shit week, 11 points. Didn't like that, but it is what it is. Landon with 114, got a goose egg from McPherson. Only 3 from Christian Watson before he got hurt. It was going to be a tough matchup for him anyway, but probably would have got you more than that if he wouldn't have got hurt. And then, 1.7 from Quinshawn. Everybody else, though, had a really good week. 34 from Josh Allen, 14 from Henry, 11 from Bucky, 15 from Flowers, 20 from George Kittle, 14 from your defense. Like, other than those 3 guys, you had a pretty good week. But I did come out with the win, thankfully, and now this week I get Yacht. We'll go through that matchup in a little bit. But Landon, again, congratulations. First year making the playoffs. It's, it's good to see that because you have been in the league now for a while. I think, 5-6 years now, right? So it is good to see you making the playoffs. And then the other matchup we had was in the championship bracket was Evan Shear against Boggs, Pitts Creek. All right, well, let's go through it here. Boggs might have set the record for most bench points ever in a week, ever. Evan does come away with the win, 106-97. Real barn burner. That's what we call those, just fucking barn burners. Evan, 106. Baker got him 25. Trey McBride got him 33. And then Kaimi Fairbairn got him 18. Other than that, his team fucking sucked. Gibbs with 6. Gentue 5. Alec Pierce with 2. Tyler Warren with 2. Tampa's defense with 1. Conversely, Boggs put up 97, led by James Cook with 34, Drake May with 24, Rico Dowdle with 13. Nobody else on his team scored more than 7 points, but everybody sucked, except his bench. He had 60 from Trevor Lawrence on his bench, which, you're never making that move, but that hurts. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You can convince yourself, listen, you're not starting Trevor Lawrence. You're just not doing it. I understand that, but that one still hurts. I mean, that hurts. 6 touchdowns on your bench never feels good. I don't care who it is. You also had Tyrone Tracy with 27. Just kind of looking at your starting lineup, Tyrone Tracy, I think, was in play. I didn't talk to you about Tyrone Tracy. I didn't talk to you about your lineup that much. But I think Tyrone Tracy might have been in play. Mike Evans definitely was in play, put up 21. Troy Franklin with 18. Kyle Pitts with 42. I mean, the Kyle Pitts, Harold Fannin decision, obviously that's something you thought about because, Harold Fannin is good, but his fantasy-wise, he's probably pretty close to Kyle Pitts. He has a total of 120 points. Fannin does 119, and Kyle Pitts has a total of 142. So Kyle Pitts was before this week. Kyle Pitts was only behind Harold Fannin by 10 points. So that truly was probably a toss-up. So that's tough. It is what it is. You lost, but I mean that's a lot of tough decisions. But Evan comes away with the win. He'll face off against Burns this upcoming weekend. As for the Turd Bowl, we ended up with Prusky playing Roofer. Prusky ended up winning 153-114. Prusky had one of those weeks and Prusky has had a couple of these weeks, but Prusky also has 5 of the lowest scores this year or something like that. And then, Roofer, man, it's he has a really good team, but just can't seem to put it all together, any given week. He comes away with the loss, 153-114. Prusky now plays against Lemke in the semifinals of the Turd Bowl. Then we had Sam and Co. Facing off against Touches Phoenix, Lemish. Sam and Co. comes away with the win, 149-87. It looks like Lemish started Mac Jones. Not sure that was the play because he didn't play. I feel like we had quite a few fines from not starting people this year, just overall this year. I feel like we had quite a few this year. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what was up with that. What was up with that? That was weird. Yeah, because I feel like everybody did it. Maybe not everybody, but most people did it. That's weird. Either way, um, Sam and Co. They move on to face Whitey in the semifinals. So a lot of good stuff. We're down to 4 teams. Me facing off against Yacht, and then Evan facing off against Burns for the championship. And then in the Turd Bowl, sorry, fellas. Oh my gosh, it just logged me off. 1 second. The Turd Bowl, I think we have Prusky facing off against Lemke, and then Whitey facing off against Sam and Co. Yep. Yeah, so, man, it's going to be good. Now, obviously, even if you're in the Turd Bowl, you still want to win. You're looking to get a better pick. So, all right. We'll start with my matchup. Actually, no, we'll start with Evan against Burns. Yeah, it's a good matchup. I think Burns probably has higher end firepower, but I feel like Evan having Trey McBride is just such an advantage. It's such a huge advantage. It's the advantage that I thought I was going to have with Brock Bowers this year. And in a couple games, I did have that advantage, but not quite. But Trey McBride is just so good. Just so good. They're facing off against the Falcons this week. So, Trey McBride might go off for 20 or 30 again. I don't know. But, okay. We got Evan has CJ Stroud against Burns' Jalen Hurts. I'm going to take Jalen Hurts in that matchup. However, CJ Stroud I don't think is going to outscore Jalen Hurts in any world. I don't think he does. I do think there's a world where Jalen Hurts and CJ Stroud are really close. CJ Stroud is playing the Raiders. They're playing the Raiders. God, and I'm going up against Nico Collins too. Fuck. CJ Stroud against the Raiders and then Jalen Hurts against the Commanders. Both are playing really bad defenses. I mean, both could end up with 4 touchdowns. I don't know. I do feel like Jalen Hurts, I don't feel like there's any world where Jalen Hurts gets outscored by CJ Stroud, but I think it could be close. But either way, I'm taking Jalen Hurts. Then we have Devon Achane against Jahmyr Gibbs. Gibbs is playing the Steelers. Achane's playing the Bengals. Ooh, gonna take Achane there for sure. Bengals defense is horrific. Steelers defense isn't super great either, though. And dude, Jahmyr Gibbs is just like the ultimate X factor, where he could give you a 50 burger, or it could be like last week and he could get you 7 points. You know what I mean? It just depends on how many big runs he breaks that given week. That's scary. I don't like play. I just don't like playing against Jahmyr Gibbs, dude, because every time he fucking touches the ball, he could house it. But I am going to take Achane there. Then we have Ashton Genty against Michael Carter. Michael Carter is playing against the Falcons. Ashton Genty is playing against the Texans. Texans have, I believe, the number 1, 2, or 3 rushing defense. And the Raiders are already really bad at running the ball. I do think Ashton Genty is good, but that offensive line is fucking so bad. And then conversely, you have Michael Carter. Michael Carter's not a bad running back, and he has a much better matchup. So I think that could be close. I'm gonna kind of call that a wash. I know I should say Ashton Genty, but I think that's probably closer to a wash. Then we have Travis Etienne against Drake London if he plays. Now, Drake London is facing the Cardinals, who have an okay defense. Etienne is against the Broncos, and the Broncos' defense is terrific. If Drake London plays, I'm going to go ahead and probably give the advantage to Drake London there, but maybe not by much. I don't know. Etienne's going to have a tough time against that Broncos defense, though. Then we have A.J. Brown against Michael Pittman. With Phillip Rivers throwing him the ball against the Niners, I don't know what to expect there. A.J. Brown, it feels like he's coming on. He's playing against a shit defense. A.J. Brown is probably a little bit like Jahmyr Gibbs here, where I don't know. I mean, I've seen A.J. Brown, even against bad defenses, just put up shit numbers. And then conversely, I mean, I've seen him put up like big games too. So yeah, there's a big variance there. So I don't know. I mean, I'll give the edge to A.J. Brown over Michael Pittman because like Phillip Rivers against the Niners defense, I don't like that matchup at all. Then we have Rashee Rice against Trey McBride. Definitely taking McBride there, especially with Patrick Mahomes out. The Titans defense is okay. Rashee Rice could still have a big game. You never know. But yeah, I would take Trey McBride by a mile. Maybe not by a mile, but I don't know. That's a tough one. Without Mahomes, I just don't know what to expect. Then Evan is starting 2 tight ends. He's going Tyler Warren. Burns is going Dallas Goedert as his lone tight end. I would take Goddard there. Now, this is interesting, though. Something that I don't like doing, especially in the playoffs, something I don't like doing is playing 2 players from the same offense unless it's a quarterback wide receiver duo. Now, Evan is starting Michael Pittman and Tyler Warren here. I don't know if I like that play, but I also don't know if he can do much else. I mean, he's got Romeo Doubs, Cooper Kupp, Xavier Worthy. I don't know if there's much else he can do. But dude, with Phillip Rivers, and the Niners defense is pretty good, I just feel like both of those guys could just put up nothing, like literally nothing. And it feels like one of them will. It feels like Phillip Rivers is not good enough to feed 2 people, especially in that offense where they do have 3 or 4 good receivers. I don't know. That's a risky play. That's a really risky play. Yeah, that's a risky play on Evan's side. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. That's tough. That's really tough. Conversely, you have on Burns' side, you have Jalen Hurts, A.J. Brown, and Dallas Goedert. Now, I really like Burns' side, though, because he has the Jalen Hurts factor, and they're playing a really bad defense. So it feels like A.J. Brown and Dallas Goedert both could have really good games, whereas I feel like there's a almost 0% chance that Tyler Warren and Michael Pittman both have good games. So I don't know. That'll be really interesting. But I like Dallas Goedert against Tyler Warren there. So I am going to go Burns here. However, it's just one of those things where you fucking never know what's going to happen. Jahmyr Gibbs, C.J. Stroud could go out and give Evan 30 to 40. Gibbs could get him, 30 to 40. It just takes Ashton Genty. It just takes Ashton Genty to break one big run. You know what I mean? That's all it takes. And then Trey McBride, of course, is a huge X factor. But I am still going to take Burns in that matchup. Next, we have me, the underdogs, against Pump and Munch, Yacht. Yacht is 2-0 against me this year. I have not beat him. I'm off to a slow start. Jason Myers, after getting me 24 last week, only got me 2 last night. I don't know how I feel about that. But here we go. We have Bo Nix. Yacht has Bo Nix. I have Dak Prescott. I am not 100% sure I'm starting Dak yet. I might start Jordan Love. Bo Nix is against the Jaguars. Jaguars defense is okay. But Bo Nix, I don't know, after watching him play against the Packers, Bo Nix could go for 40. Now, I have already kind of dodged a bullet. Yacht benched Matthew Stafford last night, and Stafford ended up putting up 45 fucking points. Dude, if he started Stafford and I'm down, 43 points, my kicker gets me 2, his quarterback gets him 45 after the Thursday game, I might be giving up on the week already, but he didn't start him, thankfully. Now, that doesn't mean that Bo Nix couldn't also do the same thing, because he very well could. He fucking just did it last week. So, We'll see how that works out. I'm 50-50 on Dak Prescott because Dak Prescott, while Dak Prescott is playing at the Chargers, and the Chargers have the number 1 or 2 pass defense in the NFL. Dak Prescott just played the Vikings last week, and the Vikings are either 1 or 2. It's the Chargers and the Vikings 1 and 2. Dak Prescott looked like shit last week. And I'm really worried that that's going to happen again. Now, Jordan Love, I feel like his ceiling, generally speaking, is probably not as high as Dak Prescott's. But I don't know. The Packers are outside. Christian Watson may or may not play. I don't know. Dak is at home, though. You know, Jordan Love is away. In scenarios like this, like that's really the tiebreaker for me right now is I do feel like Dak has a higher ceiling, but is playing a much better defense. And then Jordan Love has probably a lower ceiling, but is playing a worse defense. So my tiebreaker right now is Dak is playing at home. But we'll see. Might get squirrely tomorrow before the Packer game. But I'm going to give the edge to Bo Nix for sure. No matter if I start Jordan Love or Dak Prescott, I think Bo Nix is going to outscore either of them. Then he has Josh Jacobs against my Christian McCaffrey. Josh Jacobs is against the Bears. Bears' run defense is meh, but Josh Jacobs is kind of banged up. I don't know. It's an outside game, cold weather game. You would think they're going to run the shit out of Josh Jacobs, but with him being hurt, you know, not hurt, but banged up a little bit. You never know. I have Christian McCaffrey. I feel like McCaffrey is, you know, he's been good. I'm going to give the edge to McCaffrey just because of the receiving work. But, dude, Josh Jacobs is so good and he could easily outscore Christian McCaffrey. Then we have Bijan against Tony Pollard. Tony Pollard is against the Chiefs. Bijan is against the Cardinals. I am going to give the edge to Bijan there. Now, again, it doesn't mean that Tony Pollard can't outscore Bijan because Tony Pollard has had a pretty good year so far. But the Chiefs defense, I still think even without Mahomes, the Chiefs defense is going to show up. So we'll see. Then I have Jamar Chase against his DeAndre Swift. Now we have no Micah Parsons. Devontae Wyatt is banged up. I think that, and I know this might be a hot take, but I think that DeAndre Swift does outscore Jamar Chase this week. Miami's defense is not that bad. Packers defense, I don't think is going to be that good. So I think that DeAndre Swift is going to outscore Jamar Chase there. We'll see. Next, we have Nico Collins against CeeDee Lamb. I am going to give the edge to Nico Collins here. They're playing the Raiders. CeeDee Lamb is playing the Chargers. Again, the Chargers have a top 2 pass defense where the Raiders, I think, are dead last in pass defense. So Nico Collins could go nuts. He could go for 200 yards and 2 touchdowns. I mean, it wouldn't shock anybody if he did that. CeeDee has been steady. He's been good. He's been steady. So I think he's going to have a decent game. But against the Chargers, I just do not see the ceiling for CeeDee this weekend. And then last, we have Chris Olave against Ladd McConkey. I might not start Ladd McConkey, but I'm probably going to. Dallas's defense is pretty bad. I'm just not sure it's going to be a shootout. And Ladd, the last couple weeks, 3 weeks ago he had a great game, but then the last 2 weeks he hasn't gotten a lot of work. So I don't know. I'm a little worried about it. Conversely, Chris Olave has been pretty good this year, and they're playing the Jets defense, and the Jets defense is terrible too. So I don't know. I think that's probably close to a wash, but if anything, I might give the edge to Chris Olave. And then last, we have Brock Bowers against Darren Waller. Darren Waller is playing the Bengals, and Brock Bowers is playing the Texans, and I'm going to give the edge to Darren Waller there. I mean, Brock Bowers just hasn't been getting the work. Darren Waller has. They're both playing, Brock Bowers is playing a great defense. Darren Waller is playing a shit defense. I'm giving the edge to Darren Waller there. Now, and I already have Jason Myers go and only got me 2 points. He has the Niners D against Phillip Rivers. I have the Chiefs defense against the Titans, and the Titans offense has been pretty good. So I'm really worried about my chances this weekend. I think that Yacht is going to go 3-0 against me this weekend. After this weekend, I am going to give him the edge. I'm just trying to be as objective as I can. Obviously, it's a subjective take, but just trying to be as realistic and unbiased as I can, I guess is a better way to say it. But we'll see. I don't know. I'm real worried about this weekend. I keep looking at the matchups, and I'm just not liking him. He has really good matchups this weekend, and I don't. But we'll see. Okay, and then real quick, I'll run through the Turd Bowl. We have Shit the Bed Fred against Prusky against Lemke, Kraft Yak and Cheese. Burrow against Jared Goff. I'm taking Burrow. Omari and Hampton against Chuba. Probably taking Hampton there. RJ Harvey against Pacheco. Taking RJ Harvey. David Montgomery against Jack Besh. Definitely taking Monty. Sutton against Justin Jefferson. I'm actually going to go Justin Jefferson there. Jerry Jeudy against Jamison Williams. Probably going JMO. Yeah, Evan Ingram against Bretton Strange. I'm going to take Bretton Strange there, but I don't know, man. This is close, but I'm actually going to go Prusky here. I think Prusky gets the win, and he'll be in the Turd Bowl championship for the first overall pick. All right, last matchup. Got Sam & Co. against public enemy number 1, Whitey. Sam & Co. already has 20 from JSN and 11 from Kyron. But we got Lamar Jackson against Caleb Williams. I'm going to take Lamar there, I think. I don't know. He's been hit or miss. We'll see. Caleb's been pretty consistent, though. Yeah, I'll take Lamar. Jalen Warren against Woody Marks. I heard that Woody Marks might not play. Is that true? Let's take a look here. Working on the sideline Friday. Okay, so he's up in the air, so he might not actually play, but we'll see. Either way, I still think I'm taking Jalen Warren there. Kyle Monangai against Kyron Williams. I'm going to take Monangai there. I think Monangai and DeAndre Swift both have good weeks against the Packers. JSN against Elik Ayamaner. Definitely taking JSN there. Amon Ra against T. Higgins. I'll take Amon Ra there. Michael Wilson against Terry McLaurin. I'm going to take Michael Wilson. Theo Johnson against Hunter Henry. That's probably a wash, but I guess I would take Theo if I had to. Yeah, I'm going to take Sam & Co. here. I'll take Sam & Co., and then I think it's going to be Sam against Prusky for the first overall pick. Hey, thanks for watching, everybody. Hope you enjoyed it, and good luck to everybody this week. See ya.